Hello, everybody. This is the Tour Coach. You know, these are my conversations and my stories and roundtable discussions from my travels and Jack's and Koert's travels in the world of golf, whether they're teachers, they're players, coaches, fitness experts, whatever it is. It's the people that we meet, we talk to, trust, learn from, work with. All of it, we sit down and we talk and we share it with you to hopefully help give you some enjoyment, give you some inspiration, and also, more than anything, help your game. Our follows are going through the roof. The views and the comments about our content have been overwhelming. So please check out Dew Sweeper TV over on YouTube. Make sure you listen, subscribe, and none of this could be remotely possible without our sponsors. And that, of course, is Shrixon Golf, Bushnell Golf, Vineyard Vines, Mitch McConnell and the folks at McConnell Automotive and Buick GMC. And you obviously can't forget Ed Rowan, Taylor Martino and Rowan, and Stokely's Midtown Garden Center. All of that support makes the Dew Sweepers radio show, the Tour Coach, and Dew Sweepers TV all possible. So stay tuned and enjoy this conversation here on the Tour Coach. All right, so here we are. This is round two. Round two of a Tour Coach podcast on location. We got a lot of people talking behind me here, but that's okay. They're passing Zins. I don't know what that. Can we get a Zin sponsorship?
When is the first Zin tour bag going to come out?
I mean, I would like. Hold on, let me look at this. I want, if anybody listen to this podcast has anything to do with Zin cinnamon nicotine pouches or spearmint nicotine pouches, and you're interested in sponsoring the Tour Coach podcast for a very low rate or just a bunch of pack of nicotine, please go to dewsweepersgolf.com. We'll take care of you. Anyway, so this is, and I'm one of our guests tonight, Will McFadden. He's a really good kid, but he loves nicotine, and because I've seen him. And anyways, if we've got a cool thing going, we're kind of wrapping up a good weekend. We've got some super cool guests in. Baker Tolentino, one of the cooler juniors we've had in a long time. He's skinny as shit. And no, I'm not. If I was that skinny, okay, I'm a little jealous. Right? I mean, it wouldn't be fair. Hide your mom. Anyways, right? If I was that skinny, that's what I would tell everybody. I mean, Yvonne doesn't listen to these, so she doesn't. Anyways, I mean, she doesn't. So, anyways, I got a great story about my Uncle Nicky I could tell about that. But anyways, we got Will McFadden, who we're going to go to here in a minute. And, just I think the cool thing about the golf business and the area of the business we're in is that you get the opportunity to work with people on the media side and they become friends, right? And Nick and Salad Boy have become friends, right? And I got a feeling they're going to be back down here to come to another one of these retreats.
Hope so.
If you listen to the previous episode, you heard a little bit about their experience. But, Nick, I thought it'd be kind of cool because you've spent some time around Will McFadden. He is, whenever the Dew Sweepers have more than $37 and we could buy a mountain, and we buy a Mount Rushmore, Will McFadden will go on the Mount Rushmore of Dew Sweepers. And he's been to every camp since he was 7. He's driven me around after having wine since he was 11. And I think I sent him into a dispensary to give me gummies one time. I'm not even sure. But anyways, he's all-time, and he just won his second professional event. And he comes down here. He helps everybody, but he also participates as a student and hangs out, learns as well. Nick, you've got some questions, I think, because you actually are the only real journalist in this room.
Loosely.
And I was going to say loosely as well, but I didn't want to offend you before we got some shit published. So
yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Hand this over to Will because the question's probably going to.
So, Will, I mean, like Tony said, you've been doing this for a long time, since you were younger. Like, what is the experience like starting and then where it is now. And I think that's such a high level question, but to narrow it down, like we, Salad Boy, Jake, and myself are here, and it's like we're trying to make the process.
Are you all threesome now?
All three of us?
Oh yeah, right.
Salad Boy, Jake, and me.
Salad Boy, Jake, and me. Yeah, everyone's like, man, there's 3 of them now. But
a T-shirt that says Salad Boy on it.
but
The shit out of it.
but when you started out, whether you're 7, us, in your 30s, to now being a pro, you were trying to get the process down. Now there's a difference between a stroke, winning and losing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's a loaded first question, but I want to know, like, how has that process changed working with these guys?
Well, I think when I first started working with Tony back in the day, I just wanted to get better at golf to compete on the high school team when I started. And that, you slowly start getting better, slowly but surely. And then that transformed into wanting to potentially play college golf at the next level, which I went on to do at Troy University. And then I got to Troy and wanted to keep coming and keep getting better to help my team out at Troy. And continued to do that, kept getting better. And then towards the end of my career, decided that I wanted to play and try to give it a go to play for a living. And just same thing. I think it's always been the same. Just keep trying to get a little
just
bit
grind
better,
and get better.
a little bit better every time. And throughout the years, I think we've done a good job of it. And a lot of the credit goes to these guys that have been around forever: Greg and Jackson, Tony, Morgan, Colby, everybody. The best thing about them is they're always a phone call away every time. Like, they always pick up, all of them. So, I mean, they make it pretty easy on me.
Yeah. Talk about your experience turning pro. Like, when you said, I got done playing at Troy. Now this is what I want to do with my life. Like, did these guys help kind of talk you through that? Did you lean on them as like as a teacher? Or were they just like, look, you've got our vote of confidence. Like, we're here to help you.
Absolutely.
Chicken wings?
Chicken wings?
Wild, right?
Something new. Why do we not have a wing sponsor?
That's a good
B-dubs.
Question.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me ask this. If anybody in the sound of my voice has any sort of communication with the people that own Hooters,
God.
we are the perfect sponsor. We eat chicken wings at least 4 nights a week during a retreat, and we love Hooters. Back to you.
Start doing your own commercial breaks.
Yeah, he does his own commercial breaks.
Back to you.
And back to you.
So I think
Has there ever been a better fit for Hooters than us?
John Daly, but, yeah,
I mean, if you take him out of the equation, he's old, he's fading.
that's true. That's true.
that is true.
Hurricanes, Brogans, we tried to get those.
Brogan's was a dump, though. Go ahead, keep it. Those wings sucked. Mac was terrible.
Hurricanes, good patches.
Absolutely.
It was the same story. Go ahead.
But anyways, when I was finishing up school and deciding that I wanted to play pro, I wasn't really sure I wanted to do it. I really struggled my senior year or 5th year of college, my COVID year.
You were worse your last year than you were the year before.
I was. My 5th year of college was by far my worst year of golf I had when I was in school, and that scared me a lot when it came to thinking about wanting to turn pro. And Tony and everybody did a great job, like, keeping me on my plan of keep trying to get better. Like, you'll work yourself out of it. Injuries and stuff led to a full year of bad golf, and I was about ready to hang it up, but we just kept working, kept getting better, and I decided to go ahead and do it and play. And here we are, 10 months later. Feel like I've gotten better over the last 10 months and hopefully continue to do so.
So you have 2 wins in 10 months?
On the mini tours. So
Still, I mean, that's insane, man.
Trying to.
Like, what's it like to play a golf tournament? Like, and I know people listening are probably like, this dumbass question, but, like, we watch it on TV and we talk about it like, oh, Scotty, top of the leaderboard again. Like, we say it so nonchalant. Mm-hmm. Like, it is so damn hard to play golf.
Absolutely.
So, like, talk about, like, the preparation, how you get Locked, and we talk a lot, this clinic, like performance mode. Doc talks about that. When you're in performance mode, like, is that all 4 days? Is all week leading up to the tournament? Like, tell me what that experience is like as someone who like has never ever had that ever.
Right. I've always been of the belief that getting ready for a tournament starts like several weeks in advance, like a month in advance. I like to try to do the same thing every day so that when I get to the tournament, I can tell myself that I'm completely prepared to play. Whatever happens today's fine because I've prepared the way I want to prepare. And I mean, not to say that I haven't had tournaments where I didn't prepare the way that I wanted to, and those usually ended up very bad. But I feel like any time that I stay super consistent with my practice leading up to a tournament and prepare the right way, that the results are going to be good. And if they're not, I can't really do anything else. I did my prep work and I was ready to go. It just didn't happen that week.
Are you the type of guy who like goes out with the intent of I'm going to hit 100 balls and then I'm going to go and hit 15 minutes worth of putts, and then you're like, I'm going to accept the feel, I'm going to accept the result, I'm going to go and get ready for the rest of the whatever I need to do to get ready, sleep, eat, whatever, right? Or are you a guy who, because I think all amateurs do this, like, I'm going to hit one more. I'm going to hit one more. I didn't like that result. I'm going to hit one more. And then you're like, I've been here an hour later and I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And I actually feel like now I'm frustrated, sore, getting lazy. Like, are you the type of guy who practices that way? Or are you very much like, stick to my plan and move on?
Yeah, I mean, I've got it written out in my notes, but on the range especially, I like to stick to like specific ball counts when I do it. Like, I've got it written out in my notes. Like, I'm going to do 12 balls doing this, 15 balls doing this. It ends up being only about 60 balls because I hate hitting range balls. I like to play, but in those 60 balls, every ball I'm fully focused. And then when it comes to short game and stuff like that, I like drills that have a finish line. And that way, if I complete all those drills every day, then I feel like my game's in a good spot. So I am pretty regimented in the way I practice and get ready.
What is a really good, I know you can't show us, but like, what's a good drill for an amateur to go out to get loose? So many people get a bucket of balls and driver first. I've been told use a 7-iron first. I've also been said, like, grab a 9 to go 25 very slow, just get a feel for like your movement, kind of get loose, don't worry about the result. Like, what's a good drill for you that amateurs can definitely do?
Yeah, I mean,
grab a couple beers, just chug them and get loose.
I used to tell my teammates this in college, like the day before the tournament or 2 days before the tournament, like nothing you do in the day before the tournament can change the way you're going to play. Like, the work has already been done weeks and months before. And so, like, when I'm warming up for a tournament, I don't hardly ever even aim at anything. I'm just strictly getting loose because I've already put in the work to hit it good that day. So once it comes on to game day, it's just, is my body ready to go, whether that be stretching or hitting balls. But I wouldn't say I'm over there just raking balls in rapid fire and I'm going through my process, but I'm not necessarily worried about the result of the shot when I'm warming up, because that can create all sorts of scary things if you hit it really good or you hit it really bad, either way. So I don't like to fret on that too much before I play.
So that actually is a good kind of lead into what we did this week. There were times where we were in the Bay and, Doc, you were like, oh, that one looked, but that was it. And I looked at the result and I was like, that was it? Like, way left of my target, right? But to your point, like, the process is, that's it, the feel. Like, what we're trying to teach you, that was it. Yeah, the result's going to come, but like you said, you're just out there getting the feel. That's literally all you're going through.
Absolutely.
Interesting. So, I'm kind of tying in Baker on this one too.
Yeah, let's ask Baker.
Yeah. So,
Come on, Baker.
So Bake,
Touchdown.
Coming here, you've been down here how many times?
Been coming down here for almost a year and a half now. Pretty close.
Every week he comes down.
No, he didn't go every week.
every couple months.
I've been trying to buy a new Lamborghini.
Right. So you've been down a year and a half, basically, you said?
Mm-hmm. Pretty close.
What's the biggest takeaway you've had as like as a teenage player, junior golfer, right?
I mean, obviously the improvement in my golf game. I mean, from when I started coming down here, December my freshman year, to now, become a lot better of a golfer. But for me, one of the big things is kind of seeing the next level, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Getting to spend a lot of time around good college players, good professional players like Will. You kind of you get to see what it takes to get to where you want to go. If that makes any sense. And then also you get good tidbits of information from them. And I mean, me and Will spent just about an hour yesterday hitting pitch shots.
Cool.
Learning different, trying to hit different shots, and that's the big thing for me is definitely seeing like some of the better players and like where I want to be. And
I think it's cool because like YouTube, Instagram, golf magazine, all these video that is overload on golf content. I mean, if you want answers, you can type in how to stop my slice and you get 10,000 answers. For you to have access to these guys, and I mentioned earlier last episode, like the inclusivity in golf. So many people, myself included, you walk to a first tee, and if I'm playing with Will, and I know Tony's like, yeah, you're gonna play with Will. He's a pro. Oh, you're gonna play with Baker. He's a 1.4. He's a teenager, but he's a 1.4. Yeah,
10.
Or he's a 10 in some people's eyes. You get out to the tee box and you're like, I have to be perfect, right? And I think what you're talking about, like coming out here, having the inclusivity of, look, it doesn't matter, like whether we're competing, whether we're obviously not in a tournament, but you're absorbing and helping each other. I mean, how big is that for you? Because you're such a young kid that you're like, I mean, these are the best in the biz, man. Like you can not, again, for someone your age, how much does that give you like a leg up on some of your competition?
I think it's huge, especially like you talked with the whole like intimidation side.
Yeah.
Like I used to have this really bad habit where when I started first playing competitive golf, if I played with someone who I knew was better than me, I was like freaking out the entire
wall,
round.
right?
Yeah. And I was like, shoot, I want to come out and beat this kid, like, but I'm gonna have to play really good to beat him. And now like
yeah, I mean, look, you had that happen today with, the two-man scramble versus you. Side note for people listening, Salad Boy and I played 2v1.
If you start calling me Salad Boy, this is over.
Well, to the internet right now, they know that you are Salad Boy. We beat Baker, but to be fair, the kid had one bad shot. I'm a 39-year-old. This kid was not even born when I was legally able to have my first beer. So, like, the fact that you nearly beat us, but one chunked 3-wood got you, like, incredible. So that aside, talk about, again, like, just how you got over that intimidation and when you used to play against kids who were better than you.
Yeah, so one of the big things is definitely spending time around players who are better than me. Like, you realize that, hey, we're all trying to reach the same goal, right? We're all here to play better golf, whether we're playing in tournaments or playing, here down at Old Palm practicing. Like, we're all here to play better golf. And then one of the things that me and Doc have touched on a lot over the last month is, like, the goal of just, like, the goal of every shot being to make a good golf swing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of who's watching, regardless of if it's for birdie, eagle, just trying to make a good golf swing.
Mm-hmm.
That's been huge for me, and if like keeping that goal in my mind, like it's so relaxing, regardless of who's watching, regardless of what I'm doing.
So Jake and I talked about it after we played with you, and we were like, God, this kid. Speaking about you, obviously, super well spoken, has his shit together, way past where I was at 16 years old, and I want to know when you have a moment on the golf course where that's being tested, and you might get off to a start that you don't want, or you're having a slump in the middle of a round. How do you maintain what Doc just told you and get yourself reset? And I'm like, I know what I'm doing. You don't need to press. Don't let your focus go left or right because that ship could sink real quick.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions that Doc's gotten me to answer now is like, when I'm playing bad, especially, what's the worst that can happen, right? If I hit a bad shot, what's the worst that can happen? And the real answer is absolutely nothing. Whether I hit it exactly where I wanted and it goes in the hole, or I, shank it 20 yards into the woods, like I'm still gonna wake up tomorrow morning and be the same person. Nothing's gonna change. And then being patient on the golf course, not running out and chasing pins, trying to make birdies, like, and especially when a round's, if I jump out to 3 bogeys in a row or double like my second hole, being patient.
You use the example if you want. You told me when I first saw you this weekend about the tournament where you played pretty shitty the first day.
Yeah.
And you got home, you're like, you didn't care.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the end of the world. And you went out the next day and played great.
Yeah.
And how different that is.
Yeah, it was like actually the first event I think I played after working with you. Played pretty rough the first day. I think I shot like 83 or something like that. And then
yeah, real rough. I'm like, I'll take that.
And like after the first day, I didn't feel bad about my round. Like I was like, I never felt like the round got away from me. I think that's how I described it to you. Is like the whole time I felt like I was, in control of the round and the shots just weren't going my way. And the next day, I didn't let that round bother me. I kind of just kept going with what I was doing and shot like 76, which I was pretty, wasn't super upset with. I was pretty happy with walking away from that.
There a golfer that you love to watch that you try to mimic your game after?
I don't know. I don't.
Ruggiero.
Besides Tony Ruggiero.
I don't have anyone that I don't want to carbon copy my game. If that makes any sense, because I think that like having your own ownership of your own game is huge. Like having like an idea of like or making your game your own. Yeah. I think we all play golf a little bit different. Everybody swings it a little different.
So Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
3 out of 5. I do not want to be like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think
4
that.
out of 6, it'll happen.
Yeah. I think that like trying to copy someone's game is, I don't want to say pointless, but I think you're better off trying to spend your time making your game your own. And then
I guess kind of last question besides who your publicist is, because God, you answer these like you're a freaking pro. We kind of talked about like next steps for you. I know you can't technically talk to colleges yet, but you had a pretty cool answer that it kind of mimics what Will said earlier, like just keep going,
Yeah.
Have you thought about like where you want this journey to go,
I mean, I've always told people and told myself, like, I want to take golf as far as I can.
Yeah. That's what you told us after we beat your ass on that 2-on-1. But
Baker just changed his mind.
yeah, we actually thought you were going to quit. We thought you were going to quit and just give up. Yeah. You're going to be selling Zins at 7-Eleven and then at night working at Hooters as a waitress. No, I mean, that's what you said, right? You just wanted to keep it going. Exactly. We're fully supportive. So I think it's cool to hear that that's what you're saying. So, keep talking to your response, obviously, the question. Didn't mean to cut you off, but
I want to take golf as far as I can. And that might mean playing college. That might mean trying to be like Will and chase a professional career. I don't really like right now. I'm not super worried about where I'm gonna, when I stop playing golf, what it's gonna look like. I just want to put up better scores. If that makes any sense. So like I would say, short-term goal is play better golf. Long-term goal is ride it out.
Yeah,
see where it goes.
I think honestly, like talking to both you and Will, y'all kind of epitomize what every amateur golfer needs to hear, and it's like, own your shit. You can't play someone else's game. You can't get down on yourself if you have a good or bad shot, or get too high if you have a good shot. You're going to have really, really bad days. But also, like you guys said, like, see how far it goes. Just trust the process, right? Like, you say it to me a lot, Jake. I'll go out there and be like, oh, I'm going to shoot 80 today. It's like, you haven't even swung a club, dude. Like, why? It's great to have that mental optimism, but like, you know, but
There's something different too about the not different, but about these guys. And we tend to get a lot of these guys. These guys love golf. Yeah. And they don't love like winning. It's not about winning. They just love getting better. Right? They both said it in there. They just love. They don't know where they're going to end up, but right now they just love getting better, and that's huge. And they're not focused on what's next and what I need to do to be happy, or if I need to get my car, or I need to get into college. They just love getting better, and that's massive.
And you know, kind of as we wrap towards this thing up, but the guy, what are you laughing at? The guy that I came up under, the guy that I came up under, my longtime mentor. Everybody here's heard a bunch of my shit about him, but Hank, you know, he ran at the time what was North River Yacht Club, and it was, you're with golf.com, but at the time it was Golf Digest. It was one of their hubs.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm just kidding.
That out. I mean, you know, I'm on both lists. I'm proud.
Yeah.
Can't keep me off them. And but anyways, you know, the beauty of North River at that time, I wasn't part of that. I came under Hank's tree later, but there were all these great teachers, and you had great players that hung out. At that time, you had the teachers were like Davis Love and Hank, and you know, all these Hall of Fame teachers, Chuck Cook, so forth. All these guys through there, and you had players like Kite and Watson and different people come through, and then you had people wanted to hang out because there were great teachers and players. And I think, in fairness, they've done a nice job of that, really good job at Sea Island with the stuff Justin and those folks, and before them Todd Anderson did, where you had a lot of great players and great teachers all hung out. And that's all I've ever wanted to be around, because I heard about it early in my career. And kudos to Mark Hackett, who you're going to see a bunch in the video stuff, but like Hackett, and you know, invited me to be part of his team with Dan Terlesky, and like that's what we're doing at Old Palm, which is different than other places down here, I believe. And that is, you got a great facility, you got practice holes, which you're going to see on a lot of the content y'all shot, but the opportunity to bring people like Greg down once a month, have Jackson come down, you know, when he's not too busy, kind of, you know, Atlantic Beach is pretty highfalutin, and he doesn't always have time for me anymore, but that's okay. And I'm just kidding. But like, you bring Jackson down, and Morgan has been coming down, and you got Lynn Valentine who's here, and
you got Aaron coming out,
and you got Aaron coming out, and you got all these people. So you surround the place with great, you know, information and people that love the game. Like, and it's cool having Colby or Doc just hang out on the tee because they like being out there, right? And then you have the Will McFaddens and the young people like Baker that are wanting to be around it. And you have the, you know, you have the Rick Lambs, you have the Emilio Gonzalez's. And in the day, you know, when I taught better, you had the Lucas Glovers and so forth, and Smiley Kaufmans and different things, right? But like, I just have always been a believer, if you surround really good information and people that love the game, and then you surround people that love to play it, that are great at playing it, other people are going to want to be around it and hang out. And I think that's kind of what was going on this weekend, and it's been going on this weekend at Old Palm, and I think that's what makes it kind of cool.
And I'll add to that. I know we're about to wrap up, but
I mean, we can go more if we need to. It's our own show.
True. But I think, well, like what you said, you've created a culture, right? And that's such a buzzword in the world of sports. Like, oh, we needed to change the culture, so we got rid of one head coach and brought another. But you hear about it. Like, I know, Doc, you're a big Boston guy, right? So the Pats, right? You made a joke today. You're like, best thing Pats ever did was fire Pete Carroll, right?
No. Well, that was one of them.
But yeah,
They did a lot of good things.
You know, Belichick coming in there changed the culture, and once he got Tom Brady, and once they created a winning culture, everybody said you walk into that facility, it's a very different vibe, and it can be intense, it can be loose, whatever fits. And if you're part of that culture and that's what you like, you're going to be successful. And that's what y'all have done down here. I think that's awesome.
Not bragging on herself, but I'm going to.
That is true. We've attracted, like we talked about this today, very few times have we had people that just didn't want to be here and fit in.
No.
And like every time we come down, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like everyone
We're lucky.
is here because they want to be here. Yeah.
And they want to get better, and I think they do get better.
It's more than luck. That's been created by you, right?
Well,
Like that's the culture.
I'm lucky,
thing.
but
That's
like I had this, I pictured this, and this could be its whole podcast, but I pictured this however many, I think it was like 13, 14 years ago when I'd heard all the stories about, and we're going to go, because of the digest thing, but about the North River deal, because I'd come up under Hank, and then, a few years back, Hank was passing, and you started thinking about how they had all these great teachers, and so many of them were so important to me. The Wayne Flints, the Mark Woods, the Tom Nesses, Todd Andersons, all of those people that I've been fortunate to come up under. And you're like, man, like and they would always talk with this fondness about that time. Mm-hmm. And I always thought how they talked about that period of time was special. I wasn't part of that. And I was like, why wouldn't we recreate that? Hell, if everybody had such a good time, why we do it? Like, I'll buy the beer. And so, but I think a lot of it as time goes on and people change and there's egos and different things. But like, that was my whole intent of every place I've really looked to try to find to build what I would like to build. Yep. And at Frederica, I thought we had a great opportunity to do it. We didn't do it, and then we're just fortunate. Mark and Dan and everybody here at Old Palm kind of believes in what we are all talking about and seeing here. And I think that's what makes it special. I think what makes instruction and getting better special is like it's something you can't explain. It's like people all care about the same thing, and it kind of works together.
Coach Calipari, I'm a Kentucky guy. He's obviously at Arkansas
I knew
now.
that about you.
But
are you going to be a Razorback now?
Hell no, I'm not. I'm a UK guy, man. Big Blue Nation, old Kentucky home. But he had a great saying on the 30 for 30. He always got these All-Americans. All of them wanted to come in. They wanted to be the star of the show. They never beat UConn. Thanks for, reminding me of that. But he had a great line in the 30 for 30, and he said, when everybody buys in, everybody eats. And I think that's what you guys have done here. People bought into the program. They bought into the culture. They bought into the trust in the process, like you told me, Baker, and Will's seen. Everybody eats. You guys all get to have fun. You guys all get to work with great people who are passionate. It's not luck. Like Doc, you said, these are people coming to you because they want to be here. They've heard this is great instruction, but also fun. So you guys are buying in, and they're eating.
Salad Boy, though, let me just tell you. We're going to end this thing with a comment on Salad Boy. I give him a...
Nick just said something really nice.
Well, very nice. Very, very nice. But I want to address Salad Boy.
I'm asking him to bring me back down here. That's why
I'm going to end this thing with a comment on Salad Boy. I've given the Salad Boy a lot of shit this weekend. He's giving you some shit. Rightfully so, and I'm gonna be honest. If I'm
gonna hand him the mic so he can.
If you watch the video and you see him flip me off, I'll be honest, it kind of hurt a little bit. I'm talking to Greg later. I got an 11 o'clock in the morning about it, but anyways, you've been a trooper. Not only have you filmed some great stuff, but like all seriousness. You totally bought in and did the stuff Morgan and I asked you to do yesterday, and then the stuff today with Aaron was awesome. For where you have been only playing a year-ish, two-ish, pretty impressive. Huge improvement over the last couple of days. Can't wait for you to come back. Probably without Nick, so we can get some real shit done, and you'll be on time.
For sure.
Right? Like,
listen,
everything will start on time.
Hardest part of this weekend.
Which, I'm big on.
Yeah.
It'll be nice.
Yeah. Hardest part of the weekend.
We start at 9-ish.
Yeah. I saw that in the itinerary. 9-ish.
You're the best. But, hey, appreciate all you've done this weekend.
Great time.
Shooting the video, figuring out how to fan yourself and cool the camera, I thought was a home run for you.
Oh, Joe, that was the best move ever.
My gosh. If I was trying to figure out how to get myself attached to that deal. Like, if we could fan me. Anyway, awesome. Thanks so much for coming. Nick, appreciate you guys all putting this together. We got some great video content coming out. Doc, give you a lot of crap too, but man, you're the best teammate anybody could ever have. Jackson, bless you. McFadden and Baker, couldn't do it without you. come to a retreat. You can hang out and tape a podcast with us. Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler, but look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all, because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com, is use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper. I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like, in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Icebox Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room, and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near the Dew Sweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool, you got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out. But do yourself a favor, go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there.